Okay, so these are my first impressions of the all-new iPad 9, the 9th generation of the iPad series. Let's go ahead and jump in. All right, looking at it from this point of view, there's nothing new to it, right? So if you are familiar with what the 8th or the 7th or even the 6th generation looked like, it was pretty much this guy. Nothing new in terms of just physical appearance. All of the upgrades actually took place on the inside, right? And that was also the case with the one from last year, except you had a slight bump in terms of size, but other than that, it was pretty much the same look, the same button placement. So the power button at the top, the volume rocker on the side here, still towards the top, and the lightning cable, same deal as last year. Apple has worked at standardizing the USB Type-C, or I should put it this way, the newer Apple devices are now coming with USB Type-C, and I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe this is the only one still supporting the slow lightning cable, the proprietary lightning cable or lightning port. So hopefully the next generation, the one next year, would come with a USB Type-C. But anyways, dual setup here for the speaker at the bottom there. And at the top, we still have you still have a headphone jack, which is something that is pretty rare on new devices today. And what we have here, of course, is one of my favorite features on Apple devices. Of course, that is Touch ID, super quick, super secure. I love that feature. On the back there, the camera that we have is a 8 megapixel that can do 1080 at 25 and 30 frames per second. And on the front here, what you have is actually a 12 megapixel that can do 1080 at 25, 30 and also 60 frames per second. This guy here is loaded with the 813 Bionic chip, so that is also a pretty substantial upgrade to this tablet here. The previous gen was already a pretty good tablet. This is the budget tablet that Apple offers. The version from last year performed pretty well, especially for something priced at $330 by Apple. Another upgrade that we have here is the internal storage. These now start with 64 gigs of internal storage. So the base model will start off with 64 as opposed to 32, which was the case last year. That's not bad. That's actually pretty good coming from Apple, right? And of course, you don't have a way to expand that storage. And the next tier would be, or the next option, the next tier would be 256 gigs of internal storage. Apple actually did the same thing with the iPad mini, where you get 64 gigs of internal storage for the base and 256 gigs for the next. So they only offer two options. You also have an IPS display here. This is a 10.2 inches display, which was upgraded from the, I believe, the iPad 6 gen, which was 9.7. I'm probably wrong, but the iPad 7th was the first one to go up to 10.2. Then the 8th was at 10.2 also, and now we have the 9th gen at that 10.2 inches IPS display. Picture quality, pretty decent, pretty good actually, up to 500 nits. So that's fairly bright because of the size of the tablet. Now, the iPad mini, for example, it can go up to 500 nits, but because of the form factor, it's a smaller tablet, you don't really get to experience that brightness, right? But you do get to experience that on here. And I'm not saying that that's the brightest tablet out there, but 500 nits, it's pretty bright compared to many other tablets out there. And by the way, if you do like the content so far, please go ahead and hit both the like and the subscribe button there. I truly appreciate that. Now, I didn't do a proper unboxing of this tablet simply because we are all familiar with what comes in the box, right? So I try my best to do more first impressions as opposed to unboxing videos here. But nevertheless, let me go ahead and show you what comes in the box, right? So essentially what you get would be the tablet at the top. So same wrapper, wrapped the same way as we are accustomed to seeing coming from Apple. And right below that, you would have the paperwork, which would include the manual or the quick start guide along with Apple stickers. Then you have the power brick and the lightning cable to go with and to charge this tablet here. Again, as I mentioned, speed not great with lightning cable. I don't know why they stick with it, but then again, this is the budget iPad, so I guess we shouldn't be surprised if you are paying what Apple is considering, budget or affordable pricing. Then I guess you would have to do with the lightning cable. Again, I'm really hoping they get rid of that with the next generation. Now, just like it was the case with the previous gen, this guy here does have support for Apple Pencil, the first generation, the one with the beautiful and genius way of charging or connecting, right? But anyway, in terms of performance, it's actually performing exactly how I anticipated it was going to perform, right? So I expected it to be good, just like the previous gen. These iPads are actually pretty well built and they perform pretty well, right? And again, this guy is loaded with the A13 Bionic chip, so that's actually pretty powerful there, and I believe that's what you would find in the iPhone 11 or the 11 Pro or 11 Pro Max. That is a pretty powerful chip, so if you were to buy this guy here, you wouldn't have to worry about, you know, doing your day-to-day tasking. In fact, I anticipate you can do a good level of video editing on here. Nothing crazy professional, but I'm pretty sure it can handle some pretty decent level of video editing. I get to test all of that out as I continue to play with this guy here. But anyway, I'm just gonna cut this video short. Didn't really mean for it to be too long. Just first impressions, sharing that with you. Will you be picking up this guy here? Let me know in the comment section there if you have any questions or if there are things that you would like for me to check out or to test out on this tablet. Let me know. I'll go ahead and make sure that I test that out before I come to you with the full review of this tablet. And with that being said, I'm going to catch you in the comment section like I always do. I'm also going to catch you in the next video, and up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.